Okay, well, let's get to exploring this massive... Wait a second. Wait a second. They did just give us room. Do I need to spend the night? Nope. Can't... Wait. What's this? A present. Aww. It's another one of those stupid breath mints that they leave laying around. We don't need any more of those crappy things. Okay, so let's start exploring all of these rooms here. There are tons of them. Maybe that means tons of treasure chests. Another damn breath mint. Don't they have any soap or towels around here? Something useful? I like the designs on the door. Ooh, here we go. Not the bookshelf, even though this is vitally important. Shield Legion's historical roster, Secret Legion's historical roster, Demon Hunter Legion's historical roster, Tongue Twister's historical roster. A lot of rosters here. Wow. Okay, what does all that mean? Let me have it. Fire shielding. The question is, what does that do? It adds fire defense. It's a book. Interesting. Don't know when I'll be using any of that stuff. I may just hang on to it. I think I've mentioned it before. Which room did I come out of? I don't think it was this one. What? No treasure chest here? Covert Unit Thunderbolt. Hiding in the branches. Fangs of light and fangs of darkness. The back alley. The backdoor bandits. The wet bandits. Is anybody staying in any of these rooms? Seems like a studious person. There sure are a lot of difficult looking books here. Better not get into it. Knock knock. Room service. Oh, somebody's in here. It's Magistrate Lascelles' room. It's Ansala. I came all the way here, and for what? That sniveling little Lascelles has some nerve. Okay. I guess he's making him wait here. Expensive looking tableware. I guess this stuff is just for show if they have it set up here. I believe I already checked this room, but just to be sure. Yep, think I did. I'm already losing track. It's Roger! Jackpot! This place has wall-to-wall pretty ladies. It's too good to be true. You know what, Roger? You have not done enough smithing for us. He needs to spend some time working on metals. Compounding elixirs, nice. What other treasures are for us? A jewel of refuge. Hey, there's a nice chest. Ooh, some ripe berries. I don't know what those do exactly. But I'm sure I'll use them in a boss fight or something. Okay, that goes to the second floor. Which I don't think I need to go to. I'll check it out anyways, though. The Library of Theology. A wide variety of material concerning the sacred kingdom of Aquaria and the Church of Apris are kept here. Our kingdom is the oldest land on the continent of Gate that can trace its roots directly back to the ancient kingdom of Aquar. One could even say our land is steeped in the very history of this continent. Macwell. I'm not employed by the castle. An old friend just lets me in. So save your questions for somebody else. I have no obligation to show you around. I just like to peruse the texts. How many different books are there? History of Gate 1. 700 years ago, Aquaria the First Holy Mother, established a small, nameless kingdom in the northern reaches of Central Gate. It is said that while she and her people, worshippers of the primeval gods, fled to this land to escape the divine plagues, they were protected by the Wing of Time, one of the wings left behind by the Seraph of Feria. Okay. History of Gate 2, wow. There's going to be a lot of books here. One day, a small dispute arose between the fledgling kingdom and its neighbor. The dispute spread rapidly to nearby lands which were vying for control of the central part of the continent. Within a generation, it had grown into the Torastic religious war, a great war involving 7 neighboring lands. Led by the divine guidance of Apris, the sun god, the small nameless kingdom won the war, made peace with 4 of the neighboring lands, and then merged them into a single kingdom. That is said to be the origin of the ancient kingdom of Aquor, which would later give rise to the sacred kingdom of Aquaria. Is this the third one? History of Gate II, anecdote. During the Torastic religious war, Apris the sun god answered Aquaria I's sincere prayers for peace by sending the emissary of Apris. The emissary presented the queen with a magic sword and the knowledge of runes. Aquaria I was thus chosen by Apris to be the Holy Mother, and she used her 2 newly granted powers to fight toward the ending war. This enabled the Nameless Kingdom to win the war and re-establish peace throughout the land. When Aquaria I became the first ruler of the ancient kingdom of Aquor, she expressed her gratitude to Apris by establishing the Church of Apris as their official religion, and vowing to worship Apris as the Father God for all eternity. So a very, very, very religious land, obviously. More than we might have been giving it credit for. Where's the next book? Oh god, look at all those books on the second level. 320 years ago, the emerging kingdom of Greeton and Eastern Gate invaded Aquor with 600 mecha men under the control of the Snake of Valeria, the 3rd generation mechmaster, and the kingdom's iron, steel, copper, and silver combat battalions. Even back then, Greeton was known as a technological superpower, and their steel mecha men were extremely powerful. The ancient kingdom of Aquor lost most of its territory within half a year. Completely overwhelmed by Greeton's power, reigning Queen Ediglyph took the legendary sword of Crimson Scourge, her infant son, and a few of her followers and fled into the night, abandoning her kingdom, her people, and her gods. Without its queen, Aquor soon fell to the invading hordes of Greeton. So it was one woman's betrayal that caused the utter destruction of the once flourishing kingdom of Aquor within a mere year of Greeton's invasion. She must have had her reasons for fleeing. An anecdote on the 3rd History of Gate. When Surfario, the capital of the ancient kingdom of Aquor, fell to the kingdom of Greeton, Ediglyph the traitor and her closest followers fled toward the Eriglyph region. Most, however, were caught by Greeton's forces, and only a very few made it to the land of Eriglyph alive. Perhaps it was divine retribution against the traitors who betrayed their god, their kingdom, and their people. History of Gate IV, Volume 1. 20 years into Greeton's domination of the Aquios region, one young lady rose up against the tyranny of the Snake of Valeria, the mechmaster who ruled the conquered land for his kingdom. Her name was Crestia Dime. She would later be crowned Servia I and become known to future generations as Servia, the Liberator. Crestia, aided by her brother Ronaldo, engaged in a protracted war with the far more powerful forces of the Kingdom of Greeton until one fateful day. Wait, where's Volume 2? We must know. There it is. The bitter struggle against the mechanized corps controlled by the Snake of Valeria continued beyond all hope. One day, Crestia single-handedly slipped through the enemy's defenses into the land of Surfario. She stood defiantly before the accursed mechmaster and raised to the heavens the sacred orb, which she had received upon the emissary of Apris, upon visiting the shrine of Cadan. Thereupon, the very earth fractured and out rushed a massive torrent of water, inundating into the surrounding land and sweeping away the mechanized corps. And so it was that the corrupted city of Surfario was submerged in a single night by the gods' wrath. After losing their mechanized corps, the backbone of their military might, The remaining enemy forces were driven all the way back to the continent of Greeton by the Runological unit led by Crestia's brother Ronaldo. Good lord. This place has a long and proud history. History of Gate the Fifth. After Crestia, the Holy Mother, was crowned Servia I, the sacred orb was returned to Cadan by her brother Ronaldo. It is said that Ronaldo was thereupon blessed by the goddess Alina, and received a stone tablet engraved with 10 divine precepts that all worshippers of Apris must obey. Volume 3, here's the 4th one. Crestia, the savior of our kingdom, learned through a divine revelation from Alina, goddess of light, that she was a scion of the royal family of Akor, the kingdom that had been annihilated by Greeton. Backed by the strong popular support of the people, Crestia founded the sacred kingdom of Aquaria. Thereupon she was crowned Servia I, and her brother Ronaldo was appointed royal minister. The two siblings ruled the kingdom for many long years. Wow, that was one side. Good lord. I am going to read them all. I'm dedicated here. How many books are there? We'll start on this side. A Traveler's Guide to Greeton's Culture. It has been 300 years since the sacred kingdom of Aquaria was founded, but diplomatic relations with the kingdom of Greeton have never been officially established. Travel between our kingdoms by adventurers, merchants, and other individuals is still possible, however, but one must always keep in mind the historically rooted enmity that exists between our peoples. Enmity? I think I'm pronouncing that word really wrong. It sounds wrong. It's one of those nights, folks. A Traveler's Guide to Greeton's Races. The Kingdom of Greeton is an immense land located on the continent of Greeton to the east of the continent of Gate. The majority of its inhabitants are mineral-based creatures comprised primarily of barchite, a very rare mineral. Known as rock folk, they have developed a high intelligence via the absorption, over many centuries, of trace amounts of runological force that exists in the environment. Among rock folk, there are very few special individuals who are born with an ability that allows them to learn the art of controlling mecha men made of metal. Known as mechateers, these special rock folk are highly regarded in their society. And what about you? A Traveler's Guide to Sandmite's Races. In the hilly terrain of Western Gate lies the Republic of Sandmite, a federation of numerous small states. Each state is comprised of a different race, and the Republic's policies are decided at councils held by representatives from each of them. The races of Sandmite include Menodix in its wildlands, Flow in its forests, Greem on the shorelines, and Molefolk in the desert regions. There are also other races such as Retail Rabbits, Beagle, Drowglin, Bubblehearts, Houndfolk, Feline Folk, Bubblebutts, and Bubblepuss. One must remember that each of the various races comprising the Republic of Sandmite have their own unique culture and customs. I bet they do. Traveler's Guide to Sandmite's Culture. The Republic of Sandmite is characterized by the worship of different gods depending on the region. This is due to the fact that there are so many different races living within its borders. Unlike our Church of Apris, wherein there is an all-powerful main god worshipped by all our people, the races of Sandmite each worship a completely different set of gods. The total number of gods worshipped is said to be anywhere from 1,023 to 65,535. It seems even the inhabitants of the Republic of Sandmite do not know for sure. The census is not to be trusted. Relations with the Republic of Sandmite. Currently, the biggest problem we have with the Republic of Sandmite centers on the sacred site of Surferio. Surferio was the capital of the ancient kingdom of Akor, the land that was later to give rise to the sacred kingdom of Aquaria. History clearly shows that it is part of our sovereign territory. However, Surferio is now home to a number of humanoid races, such as Greem and Menodix. Such a serious issue should not be left unsettled. Our kingdom should immediately demand that the Republic of Sandmite return Surferio. Somebody wrote something down at the bottom. It it says. What's so great about getting that place back anyways? Utter nonsense. Of course, it'd be a different story if we had gills. True. Not everybody's a warhawk here. The kingdom of Eriglyph is located in the mountainous region of Southern Gate. It was created by the scions of the ancient kingdom of Akor, who fled there during the war with Greeton. In one respect, it can be considered our sister kingdom based on our common roots. It is not commonly known that their founder, Eriglyph I, was the son of Ediglyph, the last queen of the ancient kingdom of Akor. Really? The kingdom of Eriglyph and our kingdom share common roots in the ancient kingdom of Akor. As a result, there are similarities between our cultures. However, the Glyphians are known as a warlike people who care little about the world outside their own lands. This is thought to be a product of the different ways the two kingdoms were founded. And, last bookshelf down here, a large number of problems exist between our kingdoms, including Eriglyph's distortions of history, disputed border lines, and their refugees who enter our land illegally. Behind such problems lies the economic disparity between our kingdoms. Since the majority of Glyphian territory is barren, snow-covered land, their economy is almost entirely dependent on the mineral deposits mined in Curlsaw. However, due to the overmining in recent years, their mineral resources are beginning to run out, making it difficult for the kingdom to survive. Hello, ma'am. Have you noticed that there always seems to be inconsistencies between books from different sources? But since each book has a different author, it's only natural for there to be inconsistencies. What's important is carefully sifting through vast amounts of information to come up with your own answers. The truth lies somewhere between all of the lies. The Holy Mother is the prophet of the gods, sent by Apris, the sun god, whenever the kingdom faces a crisis. From birth, the Holy Mother has strong powers of divination, and the flow of runological force induced by runes can be seen directly by her eyes. Only one possessing such sacred power in her eyes can gain mastery of the many sacred treasures bestowed by the gods. Some say that perhaps the very powers of divination possessed by the Holy Mother should be counted among the sacred treasures bestowed by the emissary of Apris. The sacred tablet of the 10 precepts. I'm going to be cross-eyed by the time this is all done. The sacred tablet of the 10 precepts is the sacred treasure bestowed upon Saint Runology by Alina, the goddess of light. Upon its surface are carved 10 precepts that all followers of Apris must obey. 1. Thou shalt walk thine own road, provided thou dost not violate the following precepts. 2. Thou shalt not steal, maim, nor kill. 3. Thou shalt practice moderation, not indulgence. 4. Thou shalt cherish thy fellow man, and value the souls of all living creatures, for they are all equal. 5. Thou shalt work hard and fulfill thy duties, for indolence is the death of the soul. 6. Thou shalt not cause needless strife, for pain begets anger, and anger begets suffering. 7. Thou shalt abandon desire and broaden thy knowledge. Act upon truth, not illusions. 8. Thou shalt judge fairly. It is a sin to do otherwise. 9. Thou shalt punish criminals according to their crimes, for those who go unpunished will commit them again. 10. Thou shalt never punish the innocent. Wow. The sword of the Crimson Scourge is the sacred treasure bestowed upon Aquaria I by the emissary of Apris. This sentient sword chooses who may possess it, and it is said that when wielded by one who it has accepted as its master, it can even cleave the sky in two. The sword is currently in the hands of the kingdom of Eriglyph, for it was taken from our land by Ediglyph the traitor. And the sacred orb. The sacred orb is the sacred treasure bestowed upon Servia the Liberator by the emissary of Apris, the word of the Father God. It has the power to produce an endless amount of water, and legends say it once submerged an entire city in a single night. Need to find that orb. The treasures of the gods. The sacred treasures of great power that have been found are evidence of the existence of gods. They include the sacred orb, a crystal sphere of pure runological force, the sword of the Crimson Scourge, which assimilates the souls of its victims, the sacred tablet of the 10 precepts, which record the laws handed down by the gods, and the living eyes of the Holy Mother. They are all mysterious treasures with powers beyond all mortal comprehension. It can be said that the very existence of these treasures proves that there truly are gods, for no mortal could possibly have created them. About Icalo's Book of Prophecies, written by Aquaria I, there are a total of 777 chapters, spanning a total of 13 volumes. It is said to record all the divine plagues that will ravage our world. However, the prophecies are shrouded in cryptic language. Accurately deciphering them is extremely difficult, even for scholars specializing in such matters. Some scholars even claim that the Icalo's Book of Prophecies is a forgery written during the war 300 years ago. However, the prophecies that have been deciphered thus far describe actual events that have occurred, and based on this nearly flawless godlike accuracy, the book may indeed be the word of the gods. Maybe we can find that book, see what it has wrote down in it. Book of Creation, 5th. Over a period of 1,024 years, the Father God Apris, together with the 3 moon goddesses, created a new land of hope and the many living things there. Once they finished creating all life, Apris threw his own body into a blazing fire, transforming his very soul into a great mass of flames that rose into the heavens. Thus he became embodied in the sun, so he could watch over the world for all eternity. The triplet goddesses, Ariza, Arena, and Palmyra, also sought to protect the world together with their husband Apris. As they rose into the heavens, the ever-curious Arisa kept looking back at the world they had created, and so it was that she ended up being separated from the other 2 moon goddesses circling our world. So let me see, this would be 4, 3, 2, this would be the first one maybe? Yep, Book of Creation 1. In the distant past, when even the sands of time did not flow, it is said that the world was divided into the promised land of Aden and the land of Eldia, where those of unfledged souls flock. Aden was protected by the divine powers of the 10 deities, and the people there lived in peace and happiness. But in Eldia, where the powers of the 10 deities could not reach, the negative emotions of anger, hatred, suffering, envy, jealousy, scorn, and lust filled the land. What else happened? One day, out of idle curiosity, the seraph Feria, who was born in Eldia but raised in Aden, sowed the seeds of a strife between the demon Lucifer and the diva Lance. The seeds soaked up the red water Feria gave them, and in a blink of an eye they sprouted and grew so big that they covered all of Eldia. In time, the small strife turned into fierce hatred, precipitating a massive war that ultimately involved the people of Aden as well. By the end of the fierce war between the gods, the 2 lands of Aden and Eldia had been ravaged by searing white flames that stretched all the way to the heavens. Countless gods and people lost their lives, and those that survived had nowhere to which they could return. Frightened by the results of their actions, the gods gave rise to a new promised land, known as Enal-Anad or something, guided the survivors there, and then vanished from this world. And so it said the age of ancients ended. Anal-Dinid or something? The world became a void where there was no light, nor wind, nor even any sound. And yet, after a time immeasurable to man, new life sprouted. From the blazing land of Aden rose the father god Apris, clothed in a crimson robe. And from the frozen land of Eldia rose the beautiful triplet goddesses, Ariza, Arena, and Palmyra. And we already know how that story ends. Good lord, I've spent a whole video just about in this room. Which way? It wants me to be reading it this way, I think. Maybe not, hang on. That was like the 11th book. So what do I do? Need to start here? Yes. The Church of Apris worships many gods in addition to Apris, the sun god. There are the sun god's wives, the triplet moon goddesses, along with their offspring, the 8 gods and goddesses of land, water, fire, clouds, light, darkness, time, and the underworld. Then there is the emissary of Apris, who is charged with conveying the word of Apris. These gods and goddesses are enshrined at temples across our land, where they are worshipped by countless believers. Apris, the sun god, rules over the other gods and presides over raging flames and rebirth. He is also embodied in Elikor, our sun that blazes in the heavens. The words of Apris become the emissary of Apris as they descend to our world. In the heart of Apris, whoever grieves for our world takes the form of the Holy Mother and descends from the heavens. The 3 moons that circle our world along with Apris are the embodiments of his 3 wives. The largest moon is the embodiment of Arisa, goddess of the moon and storms in Turkey. She is a wild deity who presides over a vast sky and dance. The second largest is the embodiment of Arena, goddess of the moon and thunder. She is a fierce goddess who presides over storms and war. The smallest of the embodiment is Palmyra, goddess of the moon and rain, a tranquil goddess who presides over water and beauty. She is the youngest of the 3 sisters. These 3 beautiful wives of Apris the sun god are also the mothers of the 8 deities who preside over the natural world. The goddess of light, Alina, born with wings of pure white on her back, is the offspring of Apris and Arisa. She is a valiant deity who presides over courage and authority. She is also the keeper of all who sing songs that inspire heroes, and all creatures who soar through the skies. The god of darkness, Oreus, born with eyes that pierce the night, is the offspring of Apris and Palmyra. He is a hideous deity who presides over the night and sleep. This guardian of all that lurk in the shadows fills the world with distress with just a few words. The god of clouds, Solon, fastest of all the deities, is the offspring of Apris and Arisa. He is an open-hearted deity who presides over freedom and peace. This guardian of spirits changes form to journey throughout the land. The goddess of fire, Derna, armed with a blazing bow, is the offspring of Apris and Arena. She is a selfish deity who presides over knowledge and the hunt. This guardian of dragons protects the world along with Solon. The god of the land, Eri, largest of all the deities, is the offspring of Apris and Palmyra. He is a fearsome-looking yet gentle deity who presides over mountains and valor. This guardian of all who roam the land quietly takes care of matters with his mighty battle axe. The goddess of water, Shar, is one of the beautiful twins born from the sleeves of Arena and Palmyra. She is a Syrian deity who presides over spring and tears. This guardian of all that lives in water interrupts winter with her sword. The goddess of time, Lyria, is the other twin born from the sleeves of Arena and Palmyra. She is a quiet deity who presides over sorrow and growth. This guardian of fairies entwines time with her wand. And the god of the underworld, Full Star, is the unwanted offspring of Apris and Arena, a failed abortion. He is a cruel deity who presides over winter and fear. This guardian of the dead reaps souls with his longsword. I can't see. My eyes, they're about ready to pop out of my head from trying to read all this crap. I said I'd do it, though. And by God, I meant I'd do it, even if it was gonna kill me. Holy crap. That was a 30-minute adventure just to explore this side here. Oh, man. This might be a long video then, because if I stop recording now, it's going to take 2 hours to save this footage anyways. So this will be a long video. Because whenever I stop this, I'm going to go to bed and just let it finish saving the data. Oh, no flippin' way. No way. There is not another library. I refuse to believe it. I understand that we are running out of time, but even I have a limit to what I can withstand. Oh, I feel sick, and my head is pounding. God dang it, I feel the same way. Oh, should I read this? I haven't been able to conduct research in some time. I must start with the latest treatise. Okay, which one do we start on? This one? Tome of Healing. Healing closes wounds by applying a thin membrane of runological force, and then stimulates the body to heal itself. It also refreshes the body from exhaustion, thereby fully curing the target. Unfortunately, this skill cannot reverse the aging process, or wrinkles, or gray hair, or brittle bones. Antidote sends a strong external runological force into a body afflicted by poison. The force stabilizes and modifies the poison so that it will no longer do any harm. Note that a slightly different form of runological force must be used depending on whether the poison is secreted by a living organism, created by toxic minerals or metals, or is in gaseous form. Therefore, users of this skill must be well versed in all manners of toxic substances, including the dreaded Dutch oven. What about this book? Tome of Acid Rain. Acid rain raises the temperature of a layer of air high up in the sky, while applying massive amounts of moisture. In the next instant it lowers the temperature, thereby creating many clouds. Finally, it produces a violent surge of channeled force that induces searing raindrops that pelt the enemy. This is a fearsome skill, producing rain that dissolves metal, turns stone into foam, and burns people to death. Amazing. Can we learn this stuff here? Tome of Gravitation. Gravitation restricts the target's movement and greatly reduces its speed by tightly grasping the flow of runological force generated by its motion, and then producing a flow in the opposite direction. Theoretically, producing the exact same flow as the target, but in the opposite direction, should be able to fully halt it. But in reality, restricting movement by a flow that is about 20% of the strength of the target flow is the limit for even our strongest runological experts. The Tome of Reflection. Reflection protects the invoker from the effects of runology unleashed by an enemy by deploying a barrier of channeled force that blocks the transmission of runological force. Few seek to learn this skill, though, for it only can be used in battles against other runologists and monsters that use runology. However, this skill must not be forgotten, for it is extremely effective against the aforementioned foes, and it goes without saying that you too can be considered just as such a foe to someone else. Tome of the Fairy Light. Among the purebred fairies in fairyland, there are several types that lay eggs on living creatures, including humans. Fairy larvae that hatch from eggs immediately burrow into the body and start a parasitic relationship with their host. Whenever the host body is damaged, the larvae protect themselves by releasing fluid that regenerates it. It is said that fairy light emits a specific color of light, thereby summoning fairies. That, of course, is an outright fabrication. After all, it would be far too revolting if it were true, and we all know that the very botfly does not exist, no matter what people might want to say. I think it's true. I think that is how fairies actually breed little nasty, vile creatures. Tome of Restoration. The definition of life is a state of being wherein the soul and body are in perfect harmony. Death refers to the instant the thread of runological force binding the soul to the body is severed, causing them to fully separate. Restoration stops the soul from separating from the body, and then supplies new runological force. However, this skill does not work in all cases. The act of supplying runological force is the same as incorporating a foreign force into the body. In short, there is a fine line between that act and producing new life in another being. That's kind of scary, actually. You could force out a soul from a body and bring in something completely different according to that. Why do our skills heal bodily wounds? Because they use runology. Why do our skills stimulate the body, enabling us to invoke abilities more powerful than normal? Because they use runology. Why were these skills handed down only to the sacred kingdom of Aquaria? Because they use runology. And why can the only descendants of Aquaria the First, our founder, invoke these skills? Because they use runology. It is all because of runology. All of it, huh? Which one should I start on? This one, maybe? Tome of the Firebolt. Firebolt is invoked using the Fire Rune. It starts by producing a fireball by temporarily increasing a runological force around the invoker. It then creates a path between the invoker and target, wherein runological force is lower than the surrounding environment, and launches a fireball along that path. Pretty straightforward. Ice Needles is invoked using the Water Rune. It starts by producing icicles by temporarily decreasing runological force around the invoker. It then creates a path between the invoker and target, wherein runological force is higher than the surrounding environment, and launches the icicles along that path. See, I kinda like, though, how this game, it has all of this pointless information, but it doesn't shove it in your face and say, eat this stuff up. I mean, it forces you to go out and find it if you're so inclined to. If you're insane, you can. Tome of Earthglaive. Earthglaive is invoked using the Earth Rune. It starts by producing a flow of runological force at the base of the target. It then channels that flow into a spiraling force that sucks up earth and stone in the area, forming large masses of material that it hurls at the opponent. I think one of us has that attack. Tome of Laser Beams? What? Laser Beams is invoked using a rune. It converts an extremely small quantity of matter in the atmosphere into a torrent of pure runological force. The resulting energy directly strikes the target. Huh. Tome of Lightning Blast. Lightning Blast is invoked using the Earth and Water runes. First, the Earth rune produces an eddy of magnetic force around the invoker, causing light-ons to build up within his or her body. Then the Water rune produces a low-temperature path between the invoker and target, and then launches the light-ons along that path. Do light-ons have any relation to photons? Tome of Crush. Crush is invoked using a rune with a pattern unlike any other. It summons a huge mass from out of nowhere, crushing the target. Not much known about that rune. Tome of Bloody Skrilla. The source of all action in our world is the motion of runological force, and the act of the soul bonding to the body is no exception. Actually, that's Skryia, not Skrilla. Blood Money. Blood Money is invoked using the Fire and Water runes. First, the Fire rune breaks down the power of the target's soul, and then the Water rune reassembles it as its own power. I need to take a break. This is abusive. Tome of Ifrit. Ifrit concentrates the runological force around the invoker to produce matter. A side effect of this tears a hole in space. Through this hole it summons from the spirit world an Ifrit that possesses the tiny creatures living in the air and attacks the target, brutalizing them. Brutalating. The connection between runes and runology is not a simple correlation. The darkness rune can produce flames, and there is even a skill that blocks light using the water rune. Abandon preconceptions and cultivate knowledge to make all things possible. You must not forget that all knowledge is based on the creative efforts of those who came before you. Don't be afraid to build on the blocks of the giants or something. I already talked to you. I am sleep deprived, and we're almost done. I'm going to save it after this, and actually I'm going to end the video. And then, whenever we come back, we'll have to continue exploring this massive place. Yeah, we'll start here. The power of the light rune dominates fire and wind, and yields to water and earth. It results in sonic waves when combined with wind, and when combined with water. It is a flow that invokes life. Light and darkness cancel each other out. Here's darkness. The power of the darkness rune dominates water and earth and yields to fire and wind. It results in stars when combined with earth, and when combined with fire, it is a flow that invokes death. Darkness and light cancel each other out. The fire rune. The rune of fire dominates earth and darkness and yields to wind and light. It results in death when combined with darkness, and when combined with wind, it is a flow that invokes explosions. Fire and water cancel each other out. The power of the water rune dominates wind and light and yields to earth and darkness. It results in life when combined with light, and when combined with earth, it is a flow that invokes lightning. Water and fire cancel each other out. Wind rune. The power of the wind rune dominates darkness and fire and yields to light and water. There's no way I'm gonna remember all of these, yeah. This is too much information to just cram into my brain right now. It results in explosions when combined with fire. It is a flow that invokes sonic waves. But see, some of this stuff is giving you hints and tips on things that will help you in combat. And I mean, it is really good to know some of this stuff. I'm sure some of this might stick, like fire and death. That's good to know. The power of the earth rune dominates light and water and yields to darkness and fire. It results in lightning when combined with water. Yeah, we already know about all this. I actually don't want to read any more of those stupid rune ones. The correlation between runes is thought of as a hexagon with the most ancient of runes. Light, darkness, fire, water, wind, and earth at its vertices. Enveloping this hexagon is another one with sonic waves, explosions, death, stars, lightning, and life at its vertices, balancing out the forces of our world. Now that's interesting. Transcendent Runology. In addition to the runology skills that are already known, there are a number of other powerful skills that have been used by legendary figures. Many scholars have attempted to ascertain such runes, but not a one has succeeded yet, and many have died in the process. The development of channeled force. We can produce a variety of phenomena by carving runes and using runology. However, using the traditional method of carving runes to derive runological force, we are not able to produce exactly the same result twice. In short, whenever we have attempted to produce a phenomenon slightly different from one produced by a certain combination of runes, we've always had to come up with a completely new combination through years of research. This is not very efficient. Consequently, research began on whether it would be possible to transform and store the energy derived from runology, and then release and use it when necessary. This research resulted in the discovery of channeled force. Okay. What is channeled force? It is a form of energy in which tiny particles called lightons flow between matter. The advantages of channeled force are easy portability and good convertibility into other forms of energy. Especially in terms of portability, it exceeds all other forms of focused energy, or all other forms of energy. Brain meltdown. A number of research papers lie here. Let's see, how to make delicious curry. Ooh. Use the wind rune asas on a kettle to isolate runological force from the surrounding environment, and then apply 5 earth runes, gar, inside the kettle. Applying pressure inside the kettle that is higher than the pressure outside enables you to create hot and delicious curry without using the fire rune fra. But be careful not to over-apply gar, or else your potatoes will overcook and fall apart. Alina Fram, Lightning Blast section, sophomore essay. There are other books in the series, including How to Make Cream Stew and How to Make Beef Stew. I want to read them. I gotta know. We'll start here too. The light rune is a pattern that acts on matter. A massive torrent of runological force is released into the surrounding environment, though only a trace amount of matter is lost. The light rune is the power of Apris, the sun god himself, and it takes considerable skill to master it. Runology invoked by the darkness rune. The darkness rune is a pattern that collects the runological force existing in the surrounding environment and converts it into matter. By condensing the matter it produces, it has the power to distort space, opening a portal to another world. I think this is all just rewording everything that was said on the other side. It really seems like it. The fire rune is a pattern with the power to increase, possessed by the target matter. To prevent its own breakdown, matter with excess runological force absorbs oxygen from the environment, thereby stabilizing itself by reducing its excess energy. An accumulation of such energy causes matter to burn, and the resulting flames are nothing but a byproduct of the runological force released into the environment. The water rune is a pattern with the power to decrease the runological force possessed by the target matter. To prevent its own breakdown, matter with insufficient runological force absorbs environmental runological force, thereby attempting to stabilize itself. This fluctuation of runological force chills the surrounding air. The ice produced by invoking water runology is a mere byproduct of the low air temperature. I'm starting to think they're just bullshitting now. Just trying to figure out how much bullshit they can string per sentence. They're going over the limit. It stops the flow of runological force around the target matter. The wind rune does. When the flow of runological force accumulates in the surrounding air, it seeks a way to escape, resulting in a raging torrent that travels outward from the target. Controlling the flow of this runological force to make it do what one wants is the very domination of the wind itself. The earth rune, it accelerates the runological force around matter. When the flow of the force in the surrounding air accelerates, the flow itself becomes energy that can propel the target matter, or tear it to shreds. Each runologist has a certain affinity for the light, wind, fire, darkness, earth, and water attributes of runology. Thus, when a runologist learns two vastly different skills, the effects they produce will be distinctly different. This applies even when the two skills are practiced in exactly the same way, and the same time is spent learning them both. This ability per attribute is intimately related to the character of the runologist, and it is thought that general attribute affinity can be determined based on character. However, it is not clear whether a runologist's character is shaped later by innate attribute ability, or by attribute ability is acquired later according to the inborn character of the blah 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 blah. In runology, there are actually a variety of properties defined by rune attributes. Runology that invokes the power of light has a very strong effect, but requires considerable power to invoke. Runology that invokes the power of darkness has excellent applicability, but this results in a loss in stability. Runology that invokes the power of fire is easy to learn, but there are many beings resistant to it. Runology that invokes the power of water is widely effective, but difficult to master. Runology that invokes the power of wind has a variety of effects, but has less power than the others, less powerful. Runology that invokes the power of earth does not have any particular drawbacks, but is just not used very much. Which skills a runologist should learn depends on his or her ability, but there is one thing we must mention. Earth runology should be avoided, because it's for nerds. Runological force is pure energy that is the source of all action in this world. The power of runological force can be artificially manipulated by carving patterns called runes when needed, and by combining different runes, it is possible to control the flow of runological force so it can be converted into forms engineers desire in order to produce particular results. This phenomenon that is produced in this manner is known as runology. And during the Taurastic religious wars 700 years ago, the emissary of Apris bestowed upon Aquaria the first 6 runes. That is said to have been the origin of runology. Since then, countless runologists have continued research on the subject, leading to the development of a number of new runes. However, runes produced in this manner were simply combinations of the original 6 that were bestowed. I'm seeing double. It is not yet known why runes, which are just simple combinations of patterns, affect our world, but they do. I wonder if that's a rune on the window there. Does this have any significance? Is there a hidden portal here on a full moon or something that we can beam up through? I doubt it. But man, I feel like my brain has melted into absolutely nothing. We're going to continue checking out these rooms, and then I'm going to go save it. This will take us about an hour, I think. Good lord. Apologies to anybody who, actually no apologies. If you sat through that, you only have your own self to blame. Jewel of Alertness. And the blackberries, but I've already got too many of them. Yep. That was a history lesson, and I didn't even know that we were going to be getting into the dictionary this time. That was quite amazing. Wow. I think I'm going to have to recover, man. It's going to take me forever. When I place my hand near it, I feel a faintly warm sensation. Must be some sort of heater. But since it's sealed shut, there can't be anything burning inside. So this too must be runology. It must use the power of runes, or what we call symbols. You can hear probably my words. I'm not even bothering to pronounce certain things on words now. I'm just so tired. Operation A3, Divide and Conquer, the Burning Bunny. An infiltration operation, a great historical figure, plus an animal companion. There seems to be some sort of connection there. Or is there? Is that Johnny Carson? There's a Johnny Carson throwback thing, reference, something, words. Where are they? Anybody in here? Knock knock. Lots of reference material is scattered about. She's definitely not a neat freak, whoever this is. More reference material. Looks like she's even using some books as a pillow. I'm sure a few books would fit, but not all those scattered around this room. Nice little bookshelf in the wall. Knock knock. I've been so lonely exploring these rooms. Ooh, wow. Ice cold air emanates from here. A little air conditioner. This is genius. They don't really have technology, but seemingly half-read books have been placed on the floor. They include Becoming a Fledgling Witch, Advice for Making Up Your Mind. If she's a witch or whatever, she should use her powers to at least put away her books. The Swordsman Saleri, The Secretive Arakhazin, The Court Jester, The Tattooed Guardian. I'll leave it at no comment this time. Some type of fetish books, I think. Couldn't really tell by the covers. Hey, switches. Just pull the levers. Really? Absolutely nothing in here? Be all that you can be. Elena Fram, head of the Runological Weapon Research Lab. Okay. Don't know what that place is. I bet you I do know. Those levers control the aqueducts that control the flow of water through the castle. I would almost wager on it. But a humble runologist am I. Many are things I can make. With much study and research, weapons I create. That didn't really have a good flow whenever I read it like that. Singing like this really helps speed my work along. Incidentally, I wrote the lyrics and music to the song you just heard. I also arranged and performed it just for you. It's entitled The Working Woman's Blues. Well, it was very lovely. Do you have a tip hat? I'll donate some fold to you. How much do I have? Not much, lady. You're not going to get much. I have a few pennies. What is this? Appears to be a blueprint of a runological weapon. Some type of massive howitzer? Wow. These must be the weapons that they're working on. Appears to be another blueprint. Those look pretty advanced. Can I go up? Oh goodness. There's the second level. It's the development lab. Where is this place at? Precious looking books and materials are scattered about with truly reckless abandon. It's disgusting. More precious looking books and materials. Ooh, scrolls. Some diagrams are rolled up here. Probably the remains of a failed design. Bloodline parameters of runologists and runological researchers. Ada 30%, Astor 22%, Eliza 11%, Van 18%, Elena 41%, Claire 37%, Crescent 16%. Where's Nell at? Tynave only 3%. Oh, poor Tynave. Dion or Dion 10%, Derna 1%, Farlene 28%. Go Farlene. Rogue 33, Rosaria 46, Romeria 56. These figures are merely quantified representations of the ability to sense runological force, and do not reflect directly upon a person's actual ability to use runology or the ability to research runes. Well, that's good they put the disclaimer there. Concerning channeled force, applications of channeled force, methods of storing channeled force, the redeployment of channeled force, how to bake channeled force. It looks like the same person wrote all of these books. Author Elena Farnham. Elena, you are obsessed. Ooh, wow. 4,700 full, yay. It's Dion. We weren't expecting any visitors today. There are too many things I still need to do today, so please come back tomorrow. Countless books and scrolls haphazardly thrown around. I bet there's a lot of valuable information here. And I bet you they know where it all is. It may be scattered around, but I guarantee you that they know where it is if they need it. Oh man, somehow okay, this is the second level of the place. Oh, this video might actually stretch on for longer than I thought. What's this? Take us in circles? It does take us in circles. And okay, there's the way down. We're not going down just yet. That would take us there. There's the stairs down. This leads to the Queen. So that goes down. So where does this room go then? Almost done here. The conference room. Completely deserted. Several books on such topics as this region's geography, fauna, and climate. Well, what else do we have to explore then? I think there's just a few more rooms down here on the bottom floor. And yes, we're gonna get to them. We've come this far, damn it. We might as well explore all the rooms. I think it's just the bottom two, maybe. And that room that I'm tempted to explore. I just don't want any more cutscenes or anything like that, because those can drag on too. Okay. So we have explored every room then, right? I'm just gonna check this last door. Just to make sure. Interaction and interference between runes. The merging of runological forces. Orbital fluctuation of channeled force in a magnetic field. Wow. All these books look really difficult. They are. Oh. So, what is this big room, and who is this? That's Nell. I'm not going to talk to Nell yet. That advances the plot. Wow. Listen to that water. Hello, ma'am. May the war end soon. Hey, Plump. Did you come to check out the chapel too? Yeah. I was just walking around the castle, checking it out, reading all their books. Thought I might as well stop by here, see where all the water's coming from. But enough about me. How about you, Cliff? Picked up any interesting information? Well, I suppose so. Oh. So what did Mirage say? What do you mean, Mirage? Where's Mirage? She's one cold lady. She said I sneaked the emergency subspace communicator out of the Eagle. I need you to secure a power source to operate it, and you must also protect the target. I wanted to complain, but I couldn't get through to her. She might have been underground or something. Still, thanks to her, we've picked up a little bit of information. Interplanetary transmission is out of the question, but intercepting communications in the immediate area doesn't take that much energy. So he's been in contact with her the whole time? Wait a second. How'd you know Mirage contacted me? I didn't. I'm sure I hadn't told you that yet. I just pretended to know more than I did and got you to spill the beans. Wow. I thought we'd missed something. Besides, it's not at all like you to be in a place like this. Damn! You're craftier than I expected. But you're right. Even I can't deny that I'm a bit out of place here. So, what have you learned? Not much, to tell you the truth. About all I know is it's teeming with Federation and Vendini ships out there. And it seems it'll be a while before Quark's main fleet gets here. You mean to tell me the war between Vendine and the Federation isn't over yet? That's right. The Federation has strength of numbers on their side, but Vendine still dominates some regions. I suppose the Federation will prevail as long as Aldean doesn't butt in, but it will still take some time. What about my mother and father? Any word about them? Nothing at all, unfortunately. We don't even know if they are alive and well. But it's no use getting all upset about it. After all, it's not like we heard they've been killed or something. I understand. Thanks, Cliff. So he's been in contact with Mirage. He's had a communicator this whole time, and I guess he just hasn't been honest with us. Prayer is too much of a bother. Never gets answered anyways. Oh, great and powerful Apris, please save me. Don't send me to war. Let me get involved in politics or something. This is the closest place to the sun, and where the runological force is the strongest. There is no better place to spread the word of the great Father God Apris than here. I guess that's a representation of Apris. Interesting. Look at all that water. I can't get a real good angle on it. This place is like Bass Pro Shops. This is crazy. Hello. Do the sands of time lead us to our demise? Oh, Apris, please answer me. Well, I gotta see what's up here. But that map, actually, I think that map slows me down a lot. There we go. That is beautiful. So what do we have out here? Aha. So, we'll go ahead and save it. And whenever we come back, we'll talk to Nell here at the doorway. I'm pretty sure that that will actually advance the plot. And this video has went on for far too long as is. Hope no one has fallen asleep. And, yeah, whenever we turn back, we're going to see what Nell has to say.